Hey, what's up guys, my name is Mark from MCV Gaming here, and welcome back to another video. And today guys, we'll be talking about the Halo Infinite gameplay demo reveal during the Xbox first party game event. Now guys, there's a lot to talk about from this gameplay reveal. It's very exciting. I'm not going to be really doing a trailer breakdown because I feel like there's going to be a lot of those. I just want to more talk about some of the things I found important, and I'm basically putting in 5 categories for us to talk about today. Now there were 3 trailers. There was like a cinematic trailer of Master Chief getting some armor. Then there's the actual campaign demo gameplay, and there's a campaign gameplay trailer. I want to talk about those last 2 trailers in gameplay, rather than the first trailer we got about Master Chief's armor. It's really not that important, in my opinion, just of what we're going to talk about today. Very cool trailer regardless, though, but maybe I'll save that for another video. So guys, I just want to get right into talking about this, and first, I want to talk about scale. Now, right when the demo started, guys, once the player got out of the Pelican, you could already tell this is a big game that we're entering to. I mean, whatever ring we're on, probably Zeta Halo, it's big and there's a lot to explore. And this exploration is obviously coming from Halo Combat Evolved. Now, if you guys ever played Halo Combat Evolved, I hope you have, it's a very big game. I mean, there's a lot of ways we can explore in Combat Evolved. And as of right now, guys, until Infinite releases, it's the biggest Halo game in terms of maybe exploration. Maybe it could go a little bit neck and neck with Halo ODST in its city hub world. And there's huge emphasis that players have freedom to explore the Halo ring. I guess practically what the developers are saying is anywhere you see on the Halo ring, you can explore pretty much. In an interview with Green Skull, another Halo YouTuber, he was asking them, what can you explore, what can't you? I guess they literally did have a hard time actually thinking of what you can't explore. Now, I'm hoping that does stay true to the game. I know there's a lot of things sometimes devs will say you can do before a game comes out, and then sometimes just the game doesn't deliver. Halo 5. But I really do feel like with 5 years in the making that you pretty much can go anywhere. I mean, the game seems huge. I mean, just looking around during the gameplay, you could tell there's a lot to explore. There's many different paths and options that the player can take during objectives. Now, another takeaway about the scale is that the demo only shows a small portion of what you can explore in the ring, which that's crazy. I mean, that area seemed huge enough of where the AA guns are at, and there's many paths you could take of which AA gun you wanted to target first. That's just a small portion from what they're saying, and that's ridiculous to think. Also, supposedly the actual whole entire game itself in terms of scale is bigger than Halo 4 and 5 combined. Halo 4, if I can remember from playing, it was linear, but there's some areas of exploration. Halo 5 tried to expand on the idea of openness by maybe giving you some more paths by breaking through this cave, which you could have a different way of assaulting the Covenant enemies. While this game, you go anywhere. And talk about scale in just kind of that term in general, I want to talk about how the game is now kind of an open world Halo game. Now, this kind of has been talk, about Halo Infinite just since the very first trailer during E3 2018. And there's also speculation how big of a game we might be getting. Is it going to be somewhat a little bit bigger than Halo Combat Evolved? Is it just going to be the same size of Combat Evolved? And obviously, it's not that. It's actually an open world game. And how do we know this pretty much? Well, there's this new feature called the TAC map, which is very cool in my opinion that we're getting a map. We did get a map in ODST, which did show you around the city when you're exploring as the rookie. Now, this map shows you where objectives are, where you're currently at on the map, and just maybe some other points of interest. And there is a huge emphasis on how players can pretty much just play the game how they want, and they can go explore any part of the map, like I said earlier, but just do it whenever they want. So during a campaign level, if you want to just kind of wander off and take a break from the actual objective, you can. Nothing's stopping you from doing that, and you could go back and explore more. And obviously, being a Halo game, the devs have said that there's going to be many things to find during the game, such as skulls, terminals, and etc., but just probably other Easter eggs, which would be really cool to see, definitely, how Halo Infinite's going to expand on the idea of just the terminals and, made the difficulty on finding the skull. So guys, another big point I want to talk about in Halo Infinite, which has been always part of Halo, but just it seems like it has not shined in Halo 4 and 5, and that's the sandbox. And the sandbox is returning in a big way once again. Now, during Halo 4 and 5, mostly Halo 5, it seems like instead of giving power to the players through the sandbox, power is already given to the players. In Halo 5, you had sprint, clamber, thrust, Spartan charge, Spartan slam, all these different ways that are pretty much already giving the player so much power. And while the sandbox, you just kind of maybe like a rocket launcher, while Halo 5, you could still dodge the rockets pretty easily if you played smart enough. While Halo Infinite seems to be taking more inspiration from definitely Halo 3 by having multiple items in the sandbox. Now with Halo Infinite, we did see 2 new items in the sandbox in terms of equipment. That's the grapple shot and the drop shield. Now the grapple shot is just a grappling hook. It allows you to pretty much just grapple onto any object you want. Like for walls, you just grapple on a wall and you get pulled towards the wall. However, when you grapple onto an enemy, you get pulled towards that enemy, and you could give a melee attack, or just, you know, a quick way to shoot them down. And you can also grapple weapons and fusion coils, which was very cool when Chief did throw that fusion coil at the shade turret. So it gives you many options of how you want to approach the game. Another piece of equipment we did see was the drop shield, pretty much reminiscent to the Halo 3 and Reach drop shield. And this time it's just more of a large wall in front of you instead of a whole bubble encapsulating you, which it's pretty much self-explanatory how this is working. You can shoot enemies, I guess, through the side you're coming from, and it also deflects grenades. And these items can be upgraded slightly through the upgrades menu, which is in the same spot you would see the TAC map, and also a database, which that is just, you know, gives you data of what's going on in the game. But it's not really going into like some upgrade tree. It's just very slight upgrades, which isn't going to really be crazy like a game like Destiny. And the equipment can only be found in game, guys, during the campaign. Now obviously I'm thinking maybe if you find a grappling hook in some level of the campaign, you might have the ability to maybe like have that grappling hook ready for whenever you're playing the next level. I'm not sure how it's going to work. It's going to be interesting, but I'm kind of hoping you just kind of find it maybe at the beginning of the level and you just keep it as the level goes on. While on the sides of multiplayer, the head of Halo Infinite, Chris Lee, did say it's going to work differently in terms of equipment. Instead of giving you a grappling hook or a drop shield at the beginning of the multiplayer game, these items, and thank God this is the case, will be found on the map. Now personally, in my opinion, if that was given to you, the grappling hook and the drop shield before match start, it was like a loadout or just given, well, it would cause a lot of controversy in general in terms of gameplay. And also, guys, we have seen some new weapons come into Halo Infinite, and these weapons are the Ravager, which is kind of like a 3-round burst pulse weapon for the brutes. The Mangler, it's like a revolver. It's a projectile-based weapon. I'm not sure. I think it is hit scan. I think everything is hit scan this game, from what I could tell, which looks a very cool brutish gun. The Bulldog shotgun is a barreled shotgun, which seems interesting and nevertheless, but still a shotgun. The Commando rifle, which is a kind of more hard-hitting auto rifle or just longer range rifle that you can use. And then the last weapon is the Pulse Carbine, which seems like some sort of burst or full auto Covenant weapon as well. I'm not sure what it is. I hear it's similar to the Carbine, but just slightly different in performance. I'm not sure. It did seem that the Ravager and the Pulse Carbine were similar, but just different skins. I hope it's just not the case, but I'm hoping that they do have different gimmicks. Now, guys, probably the biggest thing to talk about in this game is gameplay and like the movement of the Spartans in general. So obviously, right within the first 30 seconds of the gameplay, we do see sprint does make a return. Which I won't lie, I was a little disappointed. I had a really good feeling maybe that we might be getting a classic Halo experience just due to a lot of the big positive changes of Chief's armor going back to a very familiar Halo 3, Halo 2 look, general idea of a more Chief-focused story. But unfortunately, we're not getting a classic Halo experience. Which I did see a video by a YouTuber named Fabian. Go check him out. But he did say it'd probably be better in 343's interest to make just a game where they do have sprint. I mean, obviously 343 has stick with sprint for Halo 4 and Halo 5, and now once again Halo Infinite. It's kind of their thing they're building upon, and he basically said that if they even did make a classic gameplay, it probably wouldn't be as good as maybe what we got back first Halo games, and just really wouldn't be similar. So now 343 just kind of knows what they're doing with sprint, and seems like the sprint is in a good, healthy spot. It doesn't seem that aggressive is what I would say. It seems rather slow and just kind of like to get you maybe to one place to other. Now, the other abilities that you are given in the gameplay is just clamber and slide, which personally, I don't mind those two abilities. Clamber's just clambering. I know some people don't like it in terms of it gives you a second chance. If you try and jump on a ledge, you miss, you could just clamber. I don't mind that personally, and slide is just kind of slide. It's just there. I really don't even mind that. It makes sense, I guess, to go with sprinting. Now, abilities that we don't see is no thrust, Spartan charge, Spartan slam, or stabilize, which I really wouldn't mind if that was in the game. But these might be somewhat maybe thrown in with some sort of equipment, maybe like for thrust, that might be in some form of equipment, or maybe like a jetpack that kind of goes back to ideas of the sandbox. So who knows what we'll see with more equipment. Another aspect of gameplay, ADS does seem to be returning, but only for weapons of range and that have a scope of some sort on them. Now, the only weapon we did see player ADS in, which it wasn't really like an ADS like Halo 5, just kind of more like an animated zoom, kind of like classic Halo, was for the commando rifle, which is a long range to medium range weapon. There was no sort of ADS for the assault rifle, the Magnum, or just any other weapons in Halo Infinite during the gameplay. And I feel like if there was some sort of ADS for those weapons, it would have been used during the gameplay, which obviously it wasn't. So I'm taking that there isn't no ADS for those weapons specifically, or maybe those variants. But keep in mind, we only did see 4 minutes of gameplay, of actual gameplay. So there could be a whole lot more what we could see. There might be ADS, there might be assault rifle variants that have some sort of scope or something like Halo 5. But who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see what comes in the coming months. Now, even though we do have sprint and also just clamber and sliding, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that relevant in campaign, at least, those things, just due to the scale of the game. I have a feeling that vehicles will have a very big place in Halo Infinite just due to the size of the game. I mean, from the way the level was, and not every level will probably be that big, but I don't feel like it's going to be that big of a deal having sprint in the campaign. It still did seem like whoever was playing Halo Infinite during the demo was pretty much still doing the classic walking around thing during combat and just using sprint during short little intervals. In terms of how that would work for multiplayer, I don't know. We still have to know about multiplayer. I guess it's coming soon on information about multiplayer, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be that big of a deal in terms of multiplayer, in my opinion, with sprint. But diehard Halo fans of classic gameplay might have a different opinions about that. Now guys, another big topic and the final topic I want to talk about is art style, music, and just the overall Halo feel of Halo Infinite. Now this is probably the most important feature. I think it also kind of exists with maybe the gameplay in general. Now I have talked about friends about what they thought about the gameplay reveal, and probably just the best answer I've heard so far, and it's something us Halo fans in the community have been kind of complaining about. Hey, Halo doesn't really seem like Halo-ish that anymore. My friend, one of them just literally said, it just seems like a Halo game. It just seems like Halo, what I know. And that's kind of the point. Now obviously Halo Infinite is taking more inspiration from the classic Halo games, and just the overall aesthetic of the game, how it looks. I do like how there is still a mix between the 343 and Bungie designs, and also just some new designs in general. I do like how it's all like a healthy mix. Definitely more for Bungie, but I do like this, the way the games look, and just overall seems to me also like a Halo game. In terms of music, guys, the music, from what I heard, it sounds pretty damn good for what a Halo game should sound like. Taking big inspiration from Marty O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore, who sometimes people forget makes a lot of Halo music in general back in the day. But overall, it's given that ambience of that Halo music, just very big use of percussion and kind of like more like somewhat like foreign drums from like Africa and stuff in the music, which I did like. Now, honestly, I did hear some bits that kind of did sound just more like just somewhat generic Hollywood music and video games and stuff, which is fine. I don't think they're ever going to be able to replicate or just overcome the greatness of Marty and Michael's music, but hey, it still sounds like very good music. The overall like feel of just the mystery and awe of the Halo ring is there once again. Once Chief goes up that elevator in that scene, just the size and the grandness of the Halo ring is there. Halo theme and monks chanting, you just got that feel like I'm on a Halo ring and I'm about to explore some mysterious shit. And guys, that's pretty much my 5 big parts of Halo Infinite's gameplay reveal that I wanted to talk about. There's so much more I could talk about. I know there's something circulating in the community right now about just the game's demo looking bad. I might make another video, and might probably make a video discussing that and just somewhat some art style changes that some people still complain about. That's kind of a whole nother topic. I just really don't want to get into that right now. So that's just another long plethora of me rambling. But I guess overall, first impressions, guys, I do think it looks very cool. Like I said, I'm just just waiting to see more. I'd say maybe the sprint gave me a little bit of disappointment, but at the same time, I'm not really going to mind it because I think overall the game is doing lots of positives, and I really don't have anything bad to say about the game. Also, guys, stay tuned for more Halo Infinite news from me and just also people in the community, guys. There's a lot of good Halo YouTubers out there. They're going to be making some kick-ass content during this new era of Halo. So, guys, that's all I have to say in this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have yourself a fantastic day.